The title of this is Unknown. So, I crafted a piece. And it started out as like a think piece, but it went in a direction. And that's all I got. But I can tell you, this journey is real. If you are new here, my name is Janelle. And it's been a wild one. So let's get into it. Title Unknown. It was April 4th, 2026. And I was sitting at the precipice of a crossroad. I had filed for divorce. The date was set. I was moving in a direction that looked like not settling and focusing on who I was as a woman. But life rarely ever goes in the direction we plan. So this is a story of growing intentionally. Who you choose to be is indicative. And let me make this bigger because I can't see. Who you choose to be is indicative of you and only you. We can spend countless hours, days, weeks, months avoiding that reality, but the fact remains you are solely responsible for how you decide to show up for life. The energy that you put into yourself manifests its way into your outward experiences. This is also true, but this is rarely ever the case. Progress looks invisible until the picture becomes large enough for you to see the results of your work. This is why it gets challenging in the beginning, because you cannot see if what you are doing is paying off. I gotta put my glasses on because I can't fucking see. You begin to question your decisions, and you really question them on the days when you don't even have the motivation to keep investing into something where you aren't seeing the results. However, it is at this point where the path of dreams truly are forged. It's at this point where you are tired, where you don't feel like it, where you have all the excuses to not continue to move forward, but you move forward anyway. So how do we get to this point? We get here by being tired of something. We get here when you no longer have the answers, when you are looking both ways and find yourself unsure of your next steps. At 38, I've been sitting in the section for quite a while, doing what motivation could muster, but still lost. And I was doing the work. I was journaling. I was healing. I was looking inwardly. I was being honest about who I was and how I was made and how I made it to this point. But it still could not move me in the ways that made sense. And then I was gifted with the knowledge that maybe I didn't have all the answers, and at some point you got to give up control. This looks like dropping your safety net to walk the tightrope, trusting that when you finished your walk, you would end on the other side of the rope, safely and accomplished. This was like asking you to let go and just be who your habits are, be who your talents are, but just be. Not through force and rigid actions, but through flow, yielding, and meditative release. It's been an interesting journey, nevertheless, but I am learning to stand firm in my boundaries and show up authentically as myself. I've cried many tears over the last few years, and I've learned I was deeply insecure, and I was consistently impacted by the thoughts and feelings of others, regardless of how others perceive me. And through this journey, I have learned others' perceptions of me is not my responsibility as long as I move with integrity and intentionality based on my moral fabric. My goal has always been to do the highest good without intentional harm to others, because we are all living a human experience, navigating as best as we can. Kindness is an act that helps to uplift the world. However, showing kindness does not always result in kindness being returned. And I believe this is one of the largest fallacies that people live by. Showing kindness only helps to place the seed into someone. It's not your responsibility to help them grow that kindness or spark its growth. When the person is ready to show love freely to others to help make the world a better place without the expectation of receiving something in return, they will do the work in kind. I believe this is the way the universe moves. This is the way the miracles are birthed through the intentional kindness of others, often on our worst days. Several years ago, I was going through it mentally. I was sitting in the Target parking lot. I could not stop crying. Like, I think at that moment, life was just too much. It was too much for me. And then I was crying and I was crying in my car, and I looked up and saw a sticker on the back of someone's windshield that said, "Don't give up." And it let me collect myself. I was liberated because in that moment of low, it was someone's consideration for others that helped me raise my head. We always say that no one is coming to save you, but the truly kind actually do walk back, look back, and reach a hand back to help and give love to others. It's the small considerations, the small points of intentionality that we don't realize help light the way for another to walk out of their shadows themselves, because it is not weathering the storm for them, but allowing them to see that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and the goal is to stand confidently in the storms you know are coming. Life has always been ebbs and flows. Life has and will always be the greatest equalizer, stripping you to the very depth of your soul so that you can walk in your freedom. It exposes who you are. It expresses your fears, your doubts, your self-confidence, your patterns. It tests fabrics of your growth. It tests fabrics of your convictions. It puts your dreams on the other side of those discomforts, because the journey is very rarely an easy process. The journey through your own personal persecutions, unlearning and rebirthing is very rarely an easy process, but it's the process designed to create the greatest version of yourself for the seasons you are meant to walk into. This is why only you can walk in your purpose, because only you got the vision. No one else can give you what's already inside of you. And I'm going to be honest, it's an ugly ass journey. It's gut-wrenching. It's breaking of your soul into millions of pieces that you have to shift through to rebuild yourself with the things that are meant for you on the path that you are headed, and then discarding the pieces no longer align. And even then, you feel me, you have to grow new components of yourself to fill the gaps of all the things you shed from yourself that no longer align with who you are. The process of freedom requires you to believe that you can walk through fire. It requires you to believe that you can walk through the harshest of circumstances and come out on the other side unscathed. It requires your sacrifice of ego, pride, and control. Once you gain the strongest belief within yourself and your dreams, there is nothing that can stop the movement, as long as you are walking one foot in front of the other towards that goal. You might get lost along the way, but that's the point. It's not necessarily the destination, but the road we take to get there. And as cliche as that may sound, I promise you, there are no cheat codes. There are no paths towards true fulfillment that does not require you to unlearn who you were taught to be and rebirth who you actually are. There is no path forward to success that does not come with breaking the habits that will be detrimental towards keeping the things you are walking towards. It's literally the fire sale and everything must go. It's the notion that you absolutely have to lose your mind to find your peace of mind, because absolute serenity is required to walk amongst the storms where you are going, because it's not the point of if but when. Think about the places with the luscious vegetation. It endures the harshest rainy seasons to cultivate that abundance, and all that is not right for that space gets washed away amongst the storms. You are no different in your path. I was no different on this path, and I'm still walking in the process to learn what it means to develop an ultimate level of calm, even when everything around you is in absolute chaos. And like I said, it's not easy. It absolutely never was. You have to believe in yourself so deeply that your convictions cannot be shaken when the road gets hard, and trust me, it will get hard. And this is not to say don't cry, don't sit with your emotions. Absolutely sit with them, feel them, learn them, learn to love them, because they are showing you what still hurts. It's showing you where your triggers still reside. It's showing you what you need to give more attention to, because it's literally the niche in your armor. It's the piece that, if left unchecked, can erode all that you have worked for. And let me say this again, you are the only one who can see your journey. You have to be your biggest fan. You have to be your loudest supporter. And you have to be okay with no one clapping for you. You have to be okay with the criticisms. You have to be okay with no one showing up for you. You got to be okay with not being selected, not being chosen. You have to 100% be solid on failure, because it's a part of the journey. You cannot get to where you are going with any of the things that happen, the things happening. And trust me when I say, most people will only support you when it's popular to fucking do so. They will see how amazing you are, but ignore your greatness because no one else has acknowledged it. It's who you are in the moments that define the path and heights that you are meant to go. It's believing that every step is filled with purpose that might not be defined in the moment the step is taken, but is a part of the walk towards the grandest destiny. That it's okay to get lost along the way. It's necessary to rest, rinse, and release. That's who you are becoming. Requires you to let go of you along the way. It requires you to release the expectations and allow those who flow into your life to come like water. It requires you to love those moments, to learn those days, and to evolve where required. It's understanding that when people's time is up in our lives, that they can flow out as freely as they flowed in. It's understanding that your journey is an undefined canvas waiting for you to design your own masterpiece based on the steps you decide to walk towards, leading into your tomorrows. The time is now, and congratulations are in order. It's time for you to walk with who you are going to be. This is the type of seasons that help create mountains out of molehills. These are the types of seasons that craft the Mona Lisa and gave birth to shooting stars. You are forever the work in progress, valuing yourself while walking with your head high enough to dream beyond the world, because the sky was never the limit. If you can dream it, then you can do it, and nothing is outside of the realm of possibility when you move in intentionality, integrity, and morality, doing the highest good for all intent without intentionally harming others. This is your season. And if my random tangent didn't just highlight that, the motivation that you gave birth to after you decided enough was enough has always been the formula to start. But it's not the discipline needed to keep going. You can always walk forward, but stand forward, focus when these days get hard, the tasks get mundane, the proof doesn't exist yet, the dreams seem unrealized, and yet you got to keep going. You have to keep going, even when you hit that mirage, just to know the oasis exists. You got to keep going even when the journey feels like you will never make it. Your failures are the barriers to others looking to move forward, not understanding that your failures are the barriers to others looking to move forward, not understanding that getting up after the failure is assuming the risk to obtain your reward. Understanding your failures are your barriers to yourself for giving up. Understand that giving up will always be a slow death to any dream, and never trying is a slow grief, slowly getting heavier with each day you move beyond the first moment that thought hit you. Understand that time waits for no one, and while you wait for the right time, time continues to pass you by. Like, it will always be now or never. It will always be let us live in the moment, or let the dreams die a slow death that in the folds of our mind, collecting proverbial dust while we wait for the courage to take the first step. And trust that first step does not have to be a collection of grandeur gestures, but the subtleness of moving one foot in front of the other, because some days it will be that difficult. Some days your best is that 1% to walk out on faith and do a little action, because little actions turn into the consistency needed for big dreams. And rarely do big dreams start as big dreams, but the quiet whispers often when you're staring off into space, thinking about ways to make life different. Thinking about ways to live life so fulfilled that you don't have to daydream about faraway places and spaces to feel somewhat relaxed. Know that you have everything that you need. Everything you need Once the blueprint hits your mind, you have everything you need to start. But you must define if you have everything required to keep going. That part is something you have to address within yourself. Whenever you embark on a journey, because that's where we get lost at. In the fabrics of our habits, and once there, we have to address the habits impacting the dream. Thank you.